The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's Masterclass webinar for Incidents and Actions. Today it's myself, David Rowland, our marketing manager, and it's going to be emceeing the actual webinar itself, taking the questions throughout and at the end of the webinar. And we're here to join with Matea Stilic, who is our customer success manager. She's going to run through the various content throughout the day, and also Aisling Miller, who is our customer success operations manager. So we're all going to kind of contribute to the conversations today. We've been snowed out of the office, so we're all working from home at the moment. So I could presume a lot of you have been working from home yourselves. So yeah, I think so. We're going to get cracking at the webinar now. So I'll introduce you now to Matea and Aisling.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Dave, for that. Yeah, so guys, we're all working from home, which means we're not able to see each other. So this makes it a tiny bit harder for us. So excuse us for that, but we're going to make it as easy as possible for you guys here. So me and Aisling. Hello, Aisling.
Hi, everybody. I am not sitting in a large pink fluffy dressing gown right now. I am certainly not.
So me and Aisling are going to lead you through this webinar. So today's topic is incidents and actions module. So we're just going to be showing you a few tips on those modules.
So sorry, Matea, just a quick one there.
Yeah.
As well is just to make sure that everyone we'd be great if you could send us over your questions. The questions tab is on the right hand side of the screen. As I mentioned, if you can send them on throughout the webinar, I'll be able to take them at the end as well. So we've time to do that. So sorry, Matea, work away.
That's okay. Perfect. Yeah, that's the thing that I forgot to mention. So you guys, if you have any questions on any of the modules that we're going to go through today, this is a perfect opportunity to have your questions answered without actually raising a ticket or starting a live chat. So let's just crack on. So as I said, the purpose of this webinar is just to give you insights on best practice on those two incident and actions module. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running through frequently asked questions on incidents and actions module, which you, Aisling, are very familiar with.
All too familiar with, Matea.
And then we're going to be discuss any questions you might have on all of those modules. So make sure your questions are focused on more on the system usage rather than any issues you might have. So let's get going. So Aisling, take over.
Thanks, Matea. So what we're kind of going to start out with today is the incident module itself, and we've picked out 3 core parts of the incident module to kind of focus on for this webinar. So we're looking at incident groups, kind of like what's best practice in general, and an idea of like what everybody else is doing, because not everybody gets a chance to talk to people in other organizations for how they've arranged their incident groups. So we'll just give you a quick glimpse on what everybody else is doing. We're going to show you about the incident sign-off procedure as well. How does it work? Because I kind of think that it's an underutilized feature and that just some people just might not understand how to actually go through with it. And then the access types. So what's the difference between the 3 incident and accident module access types? So Matea, would you like to change the slide there for me, please, darling?
Yes, I can. Just to mention, I've actually had quite a lot of clients asking about how to set up incident groups and kind of what most clients usually set up as their incident groups, because a lot of clients might be confused to why the incident groups need to actually be set up. So that's why we're going to put this on this presentation, and Ash is actually going to explain to you why it is there and how to set it up. So here you go, Aisling.
Oh, thanks, Matea. Yeah, and just a heads up, guys, we've got a big mix here in terms of the attendees of people who are new to the system, new super users in the system, and people who are old hands at the system kind of thing. So if we're bringing things back to basics too much, it's just because we've got some brand new users listening in for the first time. So in the incident groups, what Matea's beautiful GIF is showing here is actually where you first see the incident groups, where general users of the incident module will see it. So when you go into the incident module, on some systems and some rebranded systems, you'll call it events. Some other companies, I can't think off the top of my head, have other names for them, but it'll be incidents or events in most systems.
Some have it as accidents as well.
Perfect, yeah. So you'll see the groupings here. These are the ones from our demo site that you see the groups we have. If we switch on to the next slide, then you'll see you as super users will have this admin tab, and you can go into the sub tab called incident groups, and you can create new groups there. When you go into manage the group, that's where you can change the specific settings. So if you were normally dealing with a paper-based system and you had your incident form, it's actually in here in manage group that you'd make the changes to that to make the form online as much like what you use on paper, if you're going to kind of moving from a paper to a digital system. What I've kind of done is I've had a look at the database and at the incident groups and kind of pulled out what are the most common incident groups our clients going to use mostly. So we'll have the general ones of the general accident or incident or a general event. The road traffic accident incident is the second most common one. And then we've got near miss. Near miss is a funny one because some organizations run near miss through hazards or observations. Some organizations prefer to investigate the near misses properly, which you can't do through hazards or observations. So they run it as an actual incident group separately. Some organizations use it for monitoring their environmental incidents, security breaches, dangerous occurrences. One that I really like personally is the customer compliment or complaint. So particularly in people who are serving a large amount of end users, B2C kind of companies, that if they get complaints in, they actually like to investigate the complaints that have come in. So they have a complaint processing procedure, and because they need an investigation, it actually works really well to run it through the incident module. So that's personally one I really like. Quality incident is another one, and then behavioral incident. So it depends on what type of business or organization you're running, what you'd like. So I think just showing you guys some of those gives you an idea of what other people are doing and might give you some ideas of what else you could use it for if you're thinking more out of the box of just your general incident or road traffic accident. So the reasons you'd, sorry, I'll just finish this one sentence before I lose my train of thought. The reason that you'd create the separate groups is if you have the similar workflow for certain types of incidents, you put them all together in one group. So say you want in your investigation process, your 5 whys or things like that, you create a grouping then, and that's it's the equivalent of your investigation form or your incident form that way. Sorry, Matea, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Aisling. What I wanted to stress out here, so reporting an incident doesn't always have to be kind of a negative thing. So if you see here customer compliment or complaint, customers actually do record compliments within the incident module as well. So not just to focus on bad things, but sometimes on the positive side as well. And also something that I would be talking to clients quite a lot would be, as Aisling mentioned, near miss. So some clients would be reporting near miss within the hazards hazards module. Some of them would actually need, as Aisling said, they would need the investigation process to be performed on near misses, and that's why they would have it within the incident group module.
Yeah, so I might give you a couple of ideas. It's essentially any event of any description that requires investigation or that you'd like to see follow through on, you can use the incident or the events module for that one.
Perfect.
So what we're kind of looking at next is what we don't feel is kind of used as much as it could be, and I think it's because it's a bit misunderstood. It's the whole incident sign-off or incident approval workflow. So during an investigation, if incident approval is turned on, when you go into manage a group of an incident group, you can turn on the approval workflow. If it's turned on during an investigation, an investigator can select to set sign-off workflow, and in that they can put in up to 5 people who have to sign off on this before it becomes a closed incident. So it'll be completed before that. Once it's signed off on, then it'll become closed. So you can put in either employees of your own, it'll link it to their employee profile, or you can put in just the email address. So if you've got external bodies, so you've got maybe lawyers or insurance companies, things like that, that need to be kept in the loop, you can just put in their email address and it'll still go to them. So it goes through people in sequence. It goes to the first one when they sign it off, it goes to the second, and then the third, and that goes on like that. You have the option to sign off or reject the incident report, and you can stick a little comment in with it there as well. You want to switch?
Yep.
So I think we have it in here where we can set it up.
Yeah. So you as super. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go, Matea, I'll let you take this one. Go for it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So you as super users, guys, as most of you know, would actually have the admin tab within the incident module. So this is where you set up your whole incident reports, actually incident module in total. So if you go under the admin tab, as the GIF will now show you, so if you click on admin and then go into the incident groups and manage group, the one where you want to enable the incident sign-off process, on the first page you will see the investigation sign-off part. This part, if you click on yes, enable approval workflow, this will actually allow you to get this button within the investigation process where the investigator will be able to add any people that they want the sign-off process to go through.
Yeah, and there's no defined list of approval people. It's whoever, it's whatever your internal process is, that investigator, say it might be for certain types of incidents you want it to go through some people, certain classifications. As long as the investigator is trained on what your internal process is, they can put in who is supposed to sign off on this before closure. So it's not one master set list, it's set per investigation by the investigator. So this, if you get the email, this is what you'll get. You'll get a link to the special sign-off page in the system, but you'll also get a PDF of the final investigation report. So if you're involved in the sign-off, you can run through the PDF, see everything that's there, and then you can follow through and go to the link. And I think we have it there. So this is what it looked like if you follow through to the link. So this is this person is logged in at the moment. So this is an employee that can see this page. It's an almost identical page if you are not logged in or you're not an employee. It shows this exact same white box. It just doesn't show the other tabs. It gives you the incident details, some basic information, and then you can throw in a comment, say improve the investigation or reject it, and that's up to you. So actually, and just one other note that's just popped into my head there, if you're not sure what part of the workflow, the sign-off approval flow that it's in, when you go to the actual incident page itself in the web system, at the very, very bottom, it'll say sign-off flow, and it'll have each person's name, and it'll say maybe approved by the first one and pending by the second one. Because it goes one by one, you'll be able to see who the actual investigation sign-off is sitting with on the bottom of that page.
Yeah, so you can actually go ahead and chase that person to do it, so the sign-off process can go ahead from there.
So we've got three main different types of access involved in the incident module. So you've got incident and accident view only, so that they can just view incidents on that dashboard that they have the access defined on. They can't edit or report them or investigate anything. They can't make any changes. They can just see what's going on. Incident and accident reporting means they can report these incidents and accidents, but they can't actually, once it's reported and submitted, they can no longer see it. And this is something that comes through as an FAQ, that it's like, I've submitted this report, but I can't actually see it anymore. It's just disappeared. And it's just specifically because they have incident and accident reporting, but they don't have the view one as well. They would need to have the view and the reporting to be able to see what they've submitted themselves. So then the administrative level one, the one that requires a license, is the incident and accident edit and investigation access level. So they can do everything really. They're just one step below the super user. So they can report, they can view, they can investigate, and all those bits and pieces. So, and just in the help center, guys, in our FAQ section, there's a couple of articles on access levels, and it shows what each access level actually means, what it allows people to do. And it's kind of worth having a look in there if you're not sure what people will be able to do with the access level you're granting them. It's worth having a look through the help center. It's in under the FAQ section under access.
Perfect. Yeah, and just to stress out, the incident and accident edit investigation access level. So as Ashton said, it gives you basically almost all the rights in the incident module itself. However, only you guys, only super users, will be able to go ahead and set up incident reports and make changes in the actual back end of the incident module. So people with this access, incident and accident edit investigation, they can do anything on incident reports, incident investigation, sign off, and so on. However, they cannot edit the actual module.
Sounds good. So I think our little GIF here is showing us where these ones are. Oh, one of my nice little test users being used here. So you can see there's three main ones there. The one in bold is the one that requires a license. That's the administrator one. And then you've got view only and reporting in there as well. Now, it's worth taking into consideration that if you give somebody view access, it means they can see all incidents on that site to which they have access. So that's why some people will have report only access, and they're giving out then why can't they see their own. Currently in the system, you can only see them if you have that view or you have the edit and investigation. Now we have it in as a dev request, all right, for future iterations that you'd be able to see your own, but currently it's not possible, and you have to take into careful consideration whether you want people who have the reporting privilege to actually be able to see all other ones as well. So it's worth keeping in mind, because there can be often quite sensitive things in incidents if it's to do with people in particular, injuries and things that have happened.
Exactly, good point, Tash. And I often get clients asking, well, can I give someone access to report incidents and then to see their own incidents? So no, if they want to see their own incidents, they'll be able to see all of them. If you don't want them to see other incidents, you'll have to basically ban them from seeing even incidents that they reported within the system.
So yeah, and what the workaround for that is, you just send them on the PDF of their own incident is the best thing. If they want to see what they've reported and they want to let you know that they need to make changes, you can give them the PDF of the original incident report.
Correct. So we're going to move on to the actions module now. So kind of the things that we're going to touch on today are the action types. Again, a very frequently asked question. So kind of what action types we have on the system and where we can find those action types. And then the actions extensions as well. So that's another thing that confuses quite a lot of customers. So we just want to make sure to clarify what the action extensions actually look like, whether depending on your access level. So the action types, we have 3 different action types, and then we have the option other as well. So the option other is there just to choose whenever none of the actions above, none of the types above actually apply to any of the actions that you're raising within the system. So the first one would be the corrective action. So as most of you would know, that's just an action for something to be improved within the company. Then we have the preventive action. So it would be more like suggestions on certain improvements on existing items and procedures. So an example of that would be securing a ladder in a warehouse, for example. And then the last one would be the remedial action. So as it says here, it's raised to counteract deficiencies or undesirable characteristics in items or procedures. So again, you guys know the reason it distinguishes from the corrective one and the preventive one, but it's always good to kind of point out the differences between those 3 action types. And then again, the most used one on the system at the moment will definitely be the corrective action. That's the action that most of our clients actually raise the actions on.
And obviously, if you're starting to look more at using hazards and observations, you'll start to look to try and increase the amount of preventive actions you have rather than corrections. So you want to do things before they happen rather than after.
Exactly. So just to show you where you can find those action types. So if you go onto the Actions module and click on Add Action, you will be able to see that there is an option called Type, and it will show you all of these options that I spoke about just now. So you all know that actions do not have to be raised directly from the Actions module itself. They can be raised from different modules of the system. So it can be an incident module, it can be an audit module, DSE, and so on. So raising an action within the Actions module itself only allows you to raise an ad hoc action as well that is not connected to any other module within the system. And now to talk about something, as I said, that confuses quite a lot of clients on the system. It is action extensions. So action extensions can be raised, can be asked if you're an actions admin or actions assigned. So any of these are actually able to raise an action extension. There is a difference though. So if you give someone the actions admin access level, they will actually be able to go ahead, enter the action by edit button, and they will actually be able to change the due date themselves. However, action assign access level will allow people to see the extension button, and only when they click on the extension button will they be allowed to ask for an extension, and that request will actually be sent to the admin within the system. So they will not be able to change the extension themselves. And just be careful that both action extensions are marked within the system and can be seen through the Insights Action Insights dashboard. So the last tab in your Actions module called Insights, there you will be able to see a widget called Extension Requests, and you will be able to see how many actions were actually asked for an extension within the system. So even the actions that were done, action extensions that were done by action admins will actually be counted in that number on the Insights dashboard.
So and just kind of a heads up for people who are just hearing about Insights for the first time, it's their brand new spanking, shining, wonderful new feature that's not really officially launching until next week, I believe, Dave. But some people have a nice sneaky preview of it. But we will have more stuff coming out on Insights, which will be great for everyone to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, as I said, this is just how it will look like if you give someone the action assign access level. So just to show you, if you are going to give people access, to show you how they will see the actions module on their end. So this is when they can only request for extension. And then we have the actions admin, where they can actually, as you can see here, they have the edit button, they can click on it, and they can change the due date themselves without asking anyone for the approval. And that's more or less all of our tips on the incidents and actions module. Just now asking Dave. Dave, is there any questions from our clients?
Yeah, thanks, guys. We've got a few questions here. All right, Chip. So first question we have is, where is the list of people in the approval workflow located?
Okay, so approval workflow, as in sign off, would be located under the investigation process in the incident module. So once the investigator is doing an investigation on the incident report, they will have a button on the right hand side of the screen called sign off process. Once they click on it, they will be able to add people's email addresses in, and those people then will be included in the sign off process.
Perfect.
Yeah, and if there's an incident already set up with a sign-off workflow on it, if you just go to that incident page, on the very bottom, as I said earlier, you can see who's in that list and who actually currently has it, who's got the ball in hand, essentially.
Thanks. That sounds good. Cheers. Right, we have a few other questions as well. One question just relating to, can videos be added to incidents? And if so, is there a limit to the amount of data that you can actually be uploading onto the system?
Yeah, so videos as files cannot be added to incidents as of yet. However, there is a very good workaround. So if you have videos uploaded on any video platforms such as Vimeo or YouTube, what you can actually do is add the link to that video to the incident overview field. So if you just simply paste the link to that video into that field, once you're viewing the PDF report, that link will actually be clickable and it will bring you to your video. So yeah, there is a workaround. It's not the best and the most suitable for everyone, but that is the current workaround that works for quite a lot of clients actually. Do you not think so, Ash?
Yeah, no, it's pretty good because a lot of people, particularly if you've got people getting the sign-off email, they're getting a link, they're getting the PDF as a digital file, and the link to the video is actually clickable in that PDF, so it can bring them straight to the video. So you're still being able to get the video to the people that you want to see it.
Exactly.
Nice one.
Perfect.
Cool. Another question here just relating to sign-off. Can you make the sign-off section mandatory?
Currently, you cannot.
Okay.
So it would be.
I'm just going to pull up an example incident here while you chat away there, Marte, and I'll show you where you can set it up.
Yeah, so it basically works as any other section of the incident report that you can add within the investigation process or the actual incident reporting process. So as you all know, once you open the investigation reporting process, on the right hand side there's going to be different buttons, and most of them would not be able to be set as mandatory except the incident injured and involved person. So that's the only thing that you can actually set as mandatory to add to a certain incident report. However, all the other ones would not be mandatory on the incident report. Do you have that incident on your end, Ashlyn?
I'm just gonna hijack the screen sharing.
Yes, go ahead.
Let's see what we can see. Now, which of my screens can you see? Can you see an incident or can you see me logged out?
I can see here.
You logged out.
Yeah.
The logout or the actual open incident?
Log out.
Okay, so I'm on the wrong screen. Perfect.
There you go. That's the incident.
So, oh, my Slack is jumping all over the place here. So this is in an actual investigation. So you can see you get the index of report elements along the bottom right. I have an investigation sign-off already added, so you can just see here now, this is the section where there'd normally be a button for adding an investigation sign-off, but if I click on this here, you can actually see who's already been added. So you can add in a person and it'll look up the employee, or you can just add in the email address, effective.ie, update, and then we'll save. So here on the bottom, you can see investigation sign-off, employee ashing admin, ashing super user, ashing at effective.ie. So if I complete the investigation, it should send out that sign-out piece or that sign-off piece. And you can see now at the bottom, it's changed to ashing admin pending. So this, when you complete the investigation, it should be an instant notification email that goes out. And so it's gone to this first person, ashing admin. And then once I say accepted or approved, then it'll move on to ashing super user. So that's kind of how that actual flow works.
Okay, cool. Thanks very much for that, Aisling. Just a quick one there. We're just nearly hitting the half an hour mark, so I'm conscious I don't want to keep you any time longer. I've one other question that I just want to run through. Is there just someone's asking? Is there anywhere we can find out what all the different access levels mean?
Ooh, nice question. So we're going to promote our lovely help centre. Matea's been doing a serious amount of work on this over the past while. I know in the past some of the stuff was slightly out of date in it. So Matea's done a serious amount of work over the past while. So it's kind of where I mentioned earlier. So down in the basics in the FAQ, that we have types of effective software user. So we've got our super user article, our administrator user article, and our general user. So I'll go into our super user. So if you've got super user access here, there's a few things you can do. So you can do absolutely everything that's in the general user list. You can do absolutely everything in the admin user list, but you can also do these extra things where you can manage licenses, you can work with your dashboard structure, you can manage the notifications. The incidents one is the one where you get the most focused amount of access. Where you can go into the actual settings in the incident groups and you can reopen closed incidents. That's exclusive to you. The training, you can create training categories and add the training courses. And in reports, under KPIs, if you're looking at daily or monthly KPIs, you can create metrics there. So if I go back one and we go into administration, this is one where you see a lot more of the detail. So you can do this in addition to the super user stuff. So you can see on the actions, it details the My Actions assign and the My Actions admin. And then if we go down to incidents, there's only one that requires a license in incidents, and that allows you to view all incidents and hazards, the ability to report them, investigate them, complete them, accept and reject them, view absolutely everything, assign the actions of it, and manage the incident categories if you have this access level at the top level itself. So it's always pretty good to jump in here. If you have a couple of questions, we've improved it a lot lately, that when you put in a search, you should start to get more and more results. But as always, we've got our little help button. You can jump in and send us a live chat. And at the moment, it's mostly myself and Eddie you'll be talking to. And we'll usually guide you to somewhere good. Or if you find actually there's something in the help center that's missing that you'd like to know, let us know, because we're actually putting together our master list of what we think are missing. So it'd be great to hear back from you guys what you would like to know that to be in the help center but it isn't currently there.
Absolutely. And if anything is not clear enough, let us know. Point it out to us so we can actually make the help center guide a bit more clear for everyone.
Thanks, guys. I think that's all we really have. Just slightly gone over time. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for running through that. Some really good content that's been discussed, and as well, thanks, guys, for sending over your really good questions. Hopefully, there's a lot that's been contained that's been able to help you on that specific on the incidents and actions. We will be. This is actually being recorded, so we'll be sending this out to you after the webinar. And we will also be hosting a number of webinars, which will be sending you the invites via mails and through the tip of the week. So keep an eye out for those, and hopefully you can jump on any of the future webinars. So yep, thanks, guys.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. Chat to you soon.
Guys.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Bye.